Senator Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to reserve my 4 minutes and 51 seconds for the next hearing when we have Secretary Yellen here, so I can have more time with her, sir.
Statute of limitations, Senator Scott.
I know the statute of limitations. Hopefully it lasts at least 2 or 3 weeks. Appreciate that, sir.
I learned that from the Yale Law School graduate that went to school with my daughter.
Well, I'm just so happy that you Ivy League folks can tell time, but I will say I'll take my 4 minutes and 51 seconds for the next hearing that we have with Secretary Yellen. Yeah, good point, sir. None of that counts against my time. Thank you very much, sir. Let me go to you.
Turn the clock on yet?
May the Lord bless me indeed. Mr. McMillan. Mr. McMillan, you said a lot about improving public safety as it relates to cameras and other ways to reduce crime, reduce violence by doing simple things that are happening, frankly, everywhere. Cameras can be a strong deterrent. One of the reasons why I've been encouraging and supporting body-worn cameras for our officers is I think that everyone goes home more safely when you have just a simple body-worn camera. And so from my perspective, cameras in mass transit just seems like common sense to me. Your description of the violence facing your colleagues every day in your testimony, certainly stirring. Would you say that your drivers would feel safer with more of the technology that you talked about, safer with more equipment around them? And what about the riders as well? Talk to me about that for about a minute before I have to move on to the next person.
Yes, with those added protections, our drivers would feel safer with the cameras, but also monitors to where that person could see themselves actually getting on a bus. The operator's compartment, that's their workstation.
Yes.
And if I was a bus operator and a train operator. I felt safer as a bus operator, as a train operator, because I was completely closed in. I had a locked door, and it was less dealing with public interaction when they get on disgruntled because of the fare structure, or whether it's because of being late for work because of the bus schedules, not being on time. So yes, they would definitely feel safe. And also patrons, if they can actually know that, hey, the bus driver's not just paying attention to the road, but I see a camera that sees everyone else on this bus too, and can see what's going on, they'll feel like they're being more protected as well.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Keel, thank you once again for being here with us this morning, and thank you for your work that you do for Greenville and for the entire state of South Carolina, which is why I think it's important to understand how your agency has navigated the challenges facing transit agencies. It is my understanding that while many transit agencies were rolling back services during the pandemic, your agency was doing the opposite and expanding services. Is that right?
That's correct.
Can you walk us through how your agency has navigated the pandemic and an expansion in the middle of one?
I can. So I will say throughout the pandemic, I don't think South Carolina ever shut down, but we did slow down.
Yes.
And we certainly saw that. But the majority of our riders are essential workers, meaning that they didn't have the ability to work from home. And because of that, they had to get to work every day, whether it was going to the hospital or going to a restaurant to work or going to, a manufacturing facility. We had to keep moving. And throughout that process, being small does have some advantages. And one of those is being able to inherently know our people and what they need. And our planning process really began back in 2017 and 2018, had been prepared to scale up. And as a result of the pandemic and ridership not decreasing the way the national average was, it was a risk of, let's move forward and add more service and make sure people can access that shift work and can ultimately stay on the bus. And throughout that process, we adapted as quickly as we could. All of the COVID protocols that practically every other agency went through, we took advantage of to keep our people healthy, to keep our riders healthy, and ultimately, in the end, it has certainly paid off, and our ridership has grown because of it.
Two more quick questions for you, and with the chairman's absence, I will not use any of my time that I've reserved for the next committee hearing. I know you have some traditional diesel-powered buses and some battery electric buses in your fleet and are looking at compressed natural gas buses for the future. As you are acquiring new vehicles, what goes into your decision-making process when deciding what kind of bus you need? Upfront capital cost, maintenance costs over the life of your bus? What else?
So those are obviously two big ones. We obviously care a lot about the environment and want to make sure that we're making green and conscious decisions around that.
Yes.
That being said, we're also very aware of the weather in South Carolina. Hurricanes are a force to be reckoned with. We're also near Oconee Nuclear Facility. We're aware of their disaster response plans and how we may have to play a role in that one day. God forbid that ever happen. But having the ability to have a vehicle that we can fuel up and it's going to run for 18 or 20 hours is important.
Excellent.
Battery electric vehicles really don't afford you that opportunity right now.
Yes.
They're taking 5, sometimes less, sometimes more hours to charge. So there is a place for battery electric technology. Our board is certainly committed to going away from diesel, and that really is where the compressed natural gas comes in. I don't think it's the end-all be-all. I think there are future opportunities with BE technology and even with hydrogen technology that are going to be better and cleaner. So it's definitely going to be a staggered approach as we transition away from traditional hydrocarbons.
Thank you. Just extending myself 30 seconds. I would say that one of the best decisions I made when I became a senator was to go undercover and ride through mass transportation systems in my state, specifically in the Charleston area. It gave me an opportunity as a new member of this body to appreciate the challenges, the opportunities, the wait. So many folks wait 30 minutes to 90 minutes to get to a job for 7 hours and have the same wait on the back end. And having a chance to talk to passengers real time about what they're doing and why they're doing it, whether it's going to babysit grandkids or trying to get to work or trying to go to school. One of the best experiences I would encourage all of us to do in public service is make sure that we take the time to appreciate the experience that we spend so much time talking about. I think that is something that we all benefit from and we make better decisions. Thank you.
Thank you.